this whole entire interaction they're having with Saruman, and then they kill Saruman, they kill Wormtongue, and Treebeard's just sitting there like unsurprised at any of it.
No.
He has no comment.
He's the boss now.
He has no comment on Saruman just falling and dying.
Now that he's in charge, taking the hobbits to Isengard is no longer a bad thing.
True. They have pipe smoke there and a bunch of other stuff.
Whereas, before it was like a death sentence. So.
Yeah.
And before, like, I think it's the last movie when you see the battle with like Treebeard and all the Ents or whatever, you see him go into that like storage with all the food, and it's just like, Hobbit wet dream.
Hobbit wet dream.
Yeah.
That's where they keep all the good stuff.
Big old facts.
So we need to get information from Saruman. So we're trying to tell him to come down. We appeal to Wormtail a little bit, like, hey, come down. Not Wormtail, Wormtongue.
Same
a little
dude.
bit.
Same dude, basically.
Yeah. Come on down. Be a patriot. You know, this guy's not your master. He's like, he's my bitch. Slaps him. He's like, he's my
Get down,
master.
cur.
And then Wormtongue's like, you know what? Screw that. Stabs him twice. Legolas shoots Wormtongue. And
By the way,
Saruman falls from the tower.
no way an arrow could reach that. Do you see how high up he was?
It was Legolas.
It's Legolas. Yeah.
Also, this is something I just kind of thought of. I was like, man, Wormtongue is such a little girl. It surprises me that he actually had any form of weapon on him whatsoever. He does not, like, he seems like the running type and not the fighting type. Like,
right.
even in self-defense, it's like, I'm gonna fall down and cover my face. I just did not see him having a knife anywhere.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
And, after that, Pippin picks up the Palantir, sees it a little bit, and then Gandalf takes it from him and wraps it up, and we roll back to Edoras.
But there's foreshadowing because the look on Pippin's face is like,
Yeah.
It's a very My Precious kind of look.
yeah.
Well, I like the look Gandalf gave him. Like, is he okay after seeing this? And then as soon as Gandalf looks away, we get the from him,
Yeah.
which means he's about to do something stupid.
Pippin's never done anything stupid.
Per usual. We go back to Edoras and drink, essentially, and celebrate for all of those who have fallen in defense of their country.
Sing some Hobbit songs.
Love that song.
We do. We sing some Hobbit songs,
And again, I said this earlier too, but like, I don't like that I like the original one where they're singing and they just sing the song. I don't like it when they stop, look over, and there's like a sad moment, and he's like Pippin, and then they finish it.
Yeah, what was
I
that
don't
about?
like that. Yeah, I feel like they should just sing the song. Why interrupt that? It's a great song.
It is.
it is. It is a great song.
The Red Winged Dragon. Is that the name of the pub?
Oh, it's just the Red Dragon.
Oh, the Red Dragon.
You can search far and wide. I'm not doing the whole thing.
Yeah,
but
but it's a good song.
Do the whole thing.
I'm not doing the whole thing.
We get the drinking competition between
That's
Gimli and
extended.
Aragorn.
That's
Gimli
good.
and
Extended.
It is extended, but I think it is a good extended because I almost
Yeah.
think I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring for sexiest Legolas right there.
The fingertips.
I can feel something in my fingertips.
They both put down self.
I was like, noted. Elves can drink ridiculous amounts of alcohol and not feel anything.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah,
apparently.
they can drink, man.
And I always thought it was dwarves that were like, we can drink a lot because we're good at it. Nobody ever says anything about elves drinking.
Well, apparently
And they just
you
show
can,
them up.
you can see that dwarves can at least drink more than humans, but like, also it's weird because if you guys seen The Hobbit, there's that scene where the elves like drink themselves until they pass out. So apparently those elves are not immune to alcohol.
I didn't even think of that.
I think elves have a special type of alcohol.
Oh, it's
I
way
think
stronger.
we've been through this before.
Oh, have we?
In past episodes,
We
yeah,
might have.
that they have a stronger alcohol.
Oh.
I think.
Probably
Pretty sure.
spirit, the strong wood spirit.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So we get the drinking competition, and then we cut back to Smeagol and Gollum talking again about how they're going to kill Frodo and Sam, take them to her, and then once she's done and has the bones and clothes, they'll go and they'll take it on approach attack. Sam overhears this, smacks him around a little bit. Frodo wakes up. He's like, "What are you doing? He's the guy. He's planning to kill us. I'm going to kill him first." He's like, "No, we need him." Blah blah blah. This is where we start getting the first hints.
I mean, and Frodo's not wrong at this point. They still do.
They do still need him. Yeah.
If Sam had his way, hey, what's up? Hostile.
Yeah. Sorry for the choppy video.
Sorry for trying.
We're having some internet issues, and I can't fix it on stream. So
I mean, if Sam had his way, technically, they wouldn't have gotten.
Technically, they'd be still walking around that little rock across from where the Rakai
true.
They couldn't get out of there. They needed down for that.
As much as we love Sam Frodo was right on that one, on keeping going around for a little.
Yeah, he was right there. Maybe you should put this down. Yeah, I don't really watch that.
Sure.
Over and over.
Sure.
Sorry, Twitch is not working. It's not gonna work. So clearly, my video seems to be working just fine. So it's weird that Twitch isn't. But
who knows?
Let's see. Yeah, we get the big fight scene. We start getting the seeds of doubt in, Frodo towards Sam because the ring is messing with his head. We cut to Eowyn's dream. Essentially, she's sleeping in front of the fire. We get a quick scene where Aragorn covers up her feet.
Didn't suck her toes.
You just don't do that with people that you're not leading on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the only scene where I agree with you. He was kind of leading her on because he did the little thing as he was walking away, like the hand lingered.
Okay,
now, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna disagree with both of you guys. We don't know what the temp is. We don't know if it's warm in that hall, man. Maybe he was cold and he was like, if I'm cold, she's cold. Let me cover up them toes, girl.
No, covering her up was a gentlemanly thing to do, but I was talking about he did the lingering hand as he's walking away. That was the only part.
I was making sure he didn't get kicked in the face or her feet smelled so bad.
Typically, I'd agree with you. I don't think Aragorn's led her on too bad until this point.
No, I don't think so either.
I just can't see him doing it because in my head all I could think of is like, he knew her grandpa. How awkward would that be?
Right.
No,
I am 3 times your age.
Makes
maybe
it all
4.
the better.
This is the signature move I used on your grandpa.
She's like, what?
Your grandpa had pretty toes too.
Gross. Gross. He tells her to go back to sleep, and we cut over to everybody else sleeping, except for Pippin, of course, who is going to do something real stupid. Picks up a vase, walks over. He wants to steal the Palantir from Gandalf while he sleeps.
Side note, do Aragorn and Legolas ever sleep, or do they need sleep?
Do they need sleep? That's the question.
Good question.
He goes to steal it, but he sees that Gandalf's eyes are wide open. Not to worry, though. He just sleeps with his eyes open. Waves his hands
and mumbles. What if dude just mumbles a spell in his sleep? Kills everyone. Thanks
everybody.
a lot, Gandalf.
Gandalf wakes up, just pools of blood. He's like, oh, I said the secret.
Not again!
Every time.
He replaces the Palantir with a vase. The same one he pours some water with later. Fun fact. And then unwraps it and grabs it to look at it. And it starts flickering and lighting up, and it's sucking him in, and Sauron's eye is there, and he's freaking out, and he can't let go of it. And, Merry's like, what's going on? Wakes everybody up. Come help. At the same time, we see Legolas and Aragorn are outside. Legolas is staring off into the distance.
Again, this is going to be probably my hottest Legolas. One of them.
Man, I really just like
with the hood
him
on.
staring off into the distance with the hood on.
Yeah, I like it.
He just does so much longing staring that I don't really think any are specifically hotter than the other.
Well, it's like that with the whisper. The stars have failed.
So, here's something interesting I noticed about this scene. Obviously, Sauron was trying to get information from Pippin, but then Aragorn picks it up, and Sauron's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to him." He just passes him out. He just makes him pass out instantly. He's like, "Oh, I
don't like your granddaddy.
I don't like your granddaddy. Let's go talk to one of the hobbits." Roll towards the hobbit. Immediately, as soon as Aragorn picks it up, Sauron's like, "Nope."
Nah, we're good.
There's a whole lot of nope in that, dude.
Aragorn and Legolas bust in, grab the Palantir from him. He falls over and drops it. Gandalf throws the blanket over the top of it, and then he
fool of a took.
And he turns to yell at him, but sees that he's unconscious and looks pretty dead, honestly. And he's like, "Oh crap! Well, if he's dead, maybe I shouldn't scream at him."
Am I the only one who just? I mean, I said it earlier too, but I just really don't like Pippin. I get that we needed things to happen for us to get here, but
he's.
Because if you think about every bad thing he does, something positive comes out of it. Gandalf's gone, right? He's dead, but he comes back as Gandalf the White. If he didn't come back as Gandalf the White, we don't ever fix Theoden from Wormtongue.
Yeah.
So every bad thing he does has a positive side to it, and the positive that comes out of this one is they find out Minas Tirith.
Where they're going to attack.
But I'm just like, dude,
Isn't that kind
of
common sense though? did they need the plant here to tell him that? Because it's like
Well-
Gondor's here, Mordor's here.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of just common
It
sense.
seemed like it, but at the same time, it's like, maybe he goes for Edoras because it doesn't have much of a fortress, unless they go back to
Yeah.
Helm's Deep.
Technically,
But-
they did go after Rohan first in a way, but it was Saruman. Yeah, you know. So
Right. He may be foolhardy, but he's not a liar. We learned that he didn't tell Sauron anything about Frodo
but
and
that,
Sam.
that means Sauron thinks he has the ring.
Yeah,
But it means, that's exactly what that means.
A halfling who's talking to me. Like, yeah, I see where they would get that. You know,
I don't know. I get like an image of like a chat screen in my head. It's like Pippin, hey Sauron, WID. Yeah, and it just goes on.
You coming through?
You coming
Pippin's like, all right.
What's the address for the Mountain of Doom? I gotta put it in for my Lyft driver.
For my lip trip.
So now we cut to the woods where Arwen is heading towards the boats to go to Elf Heaven.
Valinor.
Elf Valhalla.
Elf Valhalla.
It does sound a lot like Valhalla. Anyway,
Yeah,
maybe they.
Valar.
But sees some kids run off beside her, and then she like sees a vision of Aragorn with a young kid. The kid is wearing the light, and he picks him up, and it's implied that hey,
That's your baby.
This is our baby.
As a kid, I never noticed that the elves were being gigantic pansies and just admitting defeat. Because the elves basically were like, "Oh, Sauron's gonna take over Middle Earth. Let's just leave while we can."
Yeah,
I'm like,
pretty
"Wow, cool elves. You guys are awesome." I really kind of don't. I love Legolas, but the elves kind of rub me the wrong way in a little bit.
Yeah,
Legolas is kind of a dick in the Hobbit movies, but in this, it's like A1 Day 1 MVP.
I guess you can't like them all, but
Well,
it is what it is.
They
I
just
guess.
admitted defeat since day one. They were like, "We don't want to fight these guys. Let's go."
We're good. Let's go to
Well,
Elf Valhalla.
I think the thing too is it's like they live a full life where they're at, and then it's like, okay, before you've done everything here. Do you want to get on the ships and go there, but you can't come back? It's kind of like we're going on a permanent vacation because we've done pretty much everything to do here in Middle Earth.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, they're admitting defeat, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's Florida.
Yeah.
We got old in South Dakota. Let's move to Florida for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Right.
Fair enough.
It's kind of what it is.
Arwen whips it around, heads back to talk to Elrond. She's
My lady,
like,
we can't delay. On her horse.
Goodbye. Peace out. Rides back and she's like, hey,
Sorry.
you said there was nothing but death in my future. What else did you see? There was also light, wasn't there? And he's like,
Your kid's ugly.
kid, whatever,
kid's
maybe, I guess.
He said, you only saw the first kid. The second one was a ginger. You want that?
You want? She's like, "Oh, good." She's like, "Good point." She gallops back to where she's
Ooh.
Yeah. Let me
I
catch
didn't-
up. Let me catch up to the group.
I didn't see that far ahead. Ooh.
Elrond's like, I lied about
And
that.
also, Aragorn cheats on you a lot.
Mostly with hobbits.
My foresight's better than yours.
Little hairy-footed women.
Little bearded women swimming
Ooh.
Ain't no toe sucking going on there, that's for sure.
Was that an extended scene? I feel like I don't remember.
with Gimli, where he's talking about the bearded swimmers or whatever, right?
When he
Yeah,
was drunk.
it's all of them drinking
Oh.
is
Yeah.
extended. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she's like, that future's almost gone, and she's like, it's almost gone, but it is not lost. If I leave now, I'll regret it. And then she's like, from the ashes of fire shall be woken, a light from the shadow shall spring, renewed shall be blade that was broken.
You know, when I got
The
this,
crownless again shall be
I really
king.
wanted all those words going on the top and the bottom of the sword there, but I didn't do
I kind of
it.
wish you had the broken one with all the shards.
I don't. I have a
I
friend,
kind of wish it wasn't as shaded as it is. Like, you can't really see the words down the center of the blade either.
Well, no, he didn't do that.
I'm just saying,
yeah.
like,
Pissed me off.
Did he
Never going back to that guy again.
Did he even know Elvish?
Also, while I got this public platform to hate on somebody, Robot at Fatty's Tatties sucks.
If you don't know Elvish, I'm not going to that tattoo artist.
Yeah,
Just
pretty much.
straight up.
But no, I had a friend that had the broken one on his forearm, and it was in the same spot as mine. I was like, "Nah, you're a douche. I'm gonna get it put together."
All right, fair enough.
her hands are going cold. The light is leaving her. We learn later why. And then we cut to the forging.
Don't say it.
the
Don't
fort-
say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. He swings like a girl, dude.
And here, I'm here to say, I'm smashing through your gender biases. Why is swinging like a girl a bad thing?
Fair.
There, get out of my face.
Get out of my face.
The reforging of Narsil into Andril, the Flame of the West. That's a sweet scene, man. But then we learn that Gandalf and Pippin are heading to Minas Tirith to warn them.
I wonder why he brought Pippin with him.
He probably saw that they probably had some, I don't know, important part to play, some sort of part to play.
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
Sauron thought he had the ring.
They had to get him out.
but
of
I figured
So
that.
they
But
had to get him
it's
out of
like,
Rohan.
but it's like, why bring him to the one place where Sauron's already going? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, because now he's already going to attack it.
Okay, so he's not attacking two fronts.
So he's not attacking two places, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's what I was led to believe.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down.
Wouldn't it be smart to make him attack two fronts?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Split
too.
his army up?
I don't know.
Drop him off at the Shire.
Yeah, drop off.
All of the warriors for Rohan left or planning to leave, essentially.
Like I said, drop him off at the Shire. Be like, learn to fight real quick, and then just leave.
Teach all the rest of the house.
Be like, what are you talking about?
We cut to Minas Tirith, where Gandalf and Pippin are getting off and walking towards the main hall. They see the trees, like, it's the tree!
Yeah.
I know.
We get it. We walk in and we meet Denethor officially. We already met him in an extended scene in the last movie.
Which he looked really young in.
Yeah. But officially for the theatrical release, this is the first time we meet Denethor, Mike's favorite character.
My favorite character. Everyone loves him.
He's like, don't say anything. He's like, don't say anything about Boromir. Don't say anything about this. Don't say anything. Just don't talk. Just let me talk.
And,
And what does he do?
Immediately we walk in. Denethor's holding Boromir's horn. He's like, "What are you come to tell me how my son died?
Yeah, like
My only son."
Like I was saying, minor plot hole. He's known about his son's death for months and months now, and he's just now crying about it, or maybe holding.
Or he's been crying the whole time.
Or maybe he was. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Faramir, go get me more wine. My only son died.
I was like, right away, Tyler.
Pippin, completely disregarding Gandalf's advice, steps forward and he's like, "Hey, I want to be in your service because Boromir saved our lives. He died protecting us." He's like, "How did you escape?" And he didn't. He's like, "Well, any man can be brought down by one arrow."
And he was pierced with many. And then you see Denethor's face like, oh.
Yeah, and then you also see Gandalf's
Sure, you
face,
wanted
like,
to know?
Gandalf's like, "Why'd you say that? Why'd you say?"
Again,
Tommy died in his sleep. What the fuck?
I've praised Ian McKellen so many times for just like his speechless acting, where he's just like,
That little eye roll right there was key.
like he's so good at it, dude. He does it multiple times in this series, and it just comes through like without saying a word.
If he doesn't want to be disappointed, why is he hanging out with the hobbits and Pippin all the time? He's gonna be disappointed quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's top three. Not saying anything. Ian McKellen face. Number one for me was when they're at the little meeting in Rivendell.
Oh yeah.
You hear Frodo say, "I'll take the ring," and he just stops and goes,
Yep. Yep. I mentioned that when we were there too, man. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, even the words in the fire. Oh wait, there are words popping up, and he's like,
Yeah.
Well then.
"I can't read it." There are a few that can.
Well, it's like, oh, so there are words. Meaning, I have another long trip to go on since I just went on 3 long trips. Let me get back on my horse for another couple months.
I saw this hilarious meme that it was like, hey, Frodo was like, "Hey, I know when you come here you bring trouble. I don't want any of it." And Gandalf's like, "Cool. So do you like walking in jewelry?" Do you like
walking in jewelry? That's good.
Gandalf's like, "Cool."
Cool. Alternatively, completely unrelated. He's like, "You need to light the beacons. Rohan will come if you call." He's like, "Where was Rohan?" Whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Oh, where was yeah. Yep.
I guess Rohan and Gondor must have their differences, but
Well, we kind of saw that in the last one. He was like, call Gondor for aid. They'll come if you call.
What? He didn't.
And he didn't. And then in this movie, he's like, "Where was Gondor when they were attacking Helm's Deep?" I was like, "You didn't.
They were
you
sitting
didn't
by.
ask for help."
They were sitting by the phone, is where they were.
I can't wait till Rohan calls.
It's like, how are you gonna not ask somebody for help and then get mad at them when they don't help? Come on.
No. Okay. Completely unrelated. This dude was like arguing with somebody at the bar one day. He goes, "Where were you when I was I didn't know you back then." Oh yeah, you did know me back then. Exactly.
How you
All
gonna,
right.
yeah. How are you gonna get mad from outside the playoffs? Jeez. We learn, he's like Gondor's mind, get out, pretty much. He's foolish ambition. Essentially.
Yeah, nice seat below the throne there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because he's like the vice president, and if the president's gone, he
Well, the
becomes
stewards were charged with like
Yeah.
taking care of the kings, basically. Like they were make the bed, bring him stuff, and then no king means they're in charge. So it's like, oh, I have all this power now that I never really had because before I was a glorified bed maker and wine bringer.
Right.
So now Pippin looks at Gandalf and he's like, well, that didn't work. Where are we going next? And he's like, that's it, dude. Like, we ain't going nowhere else.
End of the road, dude.
We look, of course, we're looking at Gondor or Mordor, and we see, the hopelessness. And he's like, nah, help needs to come to us. We're not leaving anymore, which is scary. Scary.
You sure you don't want to come over a hill on sunlight on the 5th day again? That'd be real cool. Gandalf. Cool.
So we cut back to Frodo and Sam, who are walking by the statue whose head's been knocked off. It's been replaced with the orc head, pretty much, essentially. We learned that it used to be a kingdom of Gondor. Not anymore. Frodo's like, I got this feeling that I'm not coming back. Sam's like, it's just a feeling. It'll be okay.
Statistically, Frodo's correct. He's probably not coming back.
Yeah.
But, he might.
Good scene here. It shines on the crown. The sun opens up, shines on the crown. He's like, he's got it back, and then it's immediately swallowed up by darkness again.
Let's have a nice, happy, tender moment. Nope.
No.
And it's
gone. We cut back to Gandalf and Pippin, who are talking.
Oh, this is where they're watching, and they're kind of talking about this is when Gandalf says, he's like, we got the White Wizard. That's got to count for something. And then Gandalf's like, have you heard of the Witch King of Angmar?
He's got the Witch King.
He's got the Witch King.
The Witch King is the leader of the 9. Nazgul, the one who stabbed Frodo in the very first episode.
Weathertop, yep.
When they all sucked. Apparently they leveled up since then.
Now he gets...
Because Aragorn's just like, get away. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. They're like, oh, wait, these guys are cool. We should not nerf them. So he gets a cool helmet, which was changed. They had one design for it, and then they had to change the design because it looked like way too close to Sauron's from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So there's a little fun fact I know about the Witch King.
I do like that helmet, though. That helmet's pretty awesome.
And we get the shot of Minas Morgul when we cut back to Frodo and Sam because they come up to the front doors. It's dope. It's got this like low green light, and it's got these sweet statues on the front.
Man, Black Gate, terrifying. Let's not go there. Gone. I'll take you somewhere else, right to the front doors of where the Nazgul are. Like
they'll probably see us, but it's fine.
They'll see us, but we'll climb up there before then. No big deal.
Wrong pipe.
Yeah, no orc. Oh, we'll get to that part, but no orc looks up while they're climbing. Like not one.
Not a single one.
Nobody look back.
Again, it's them cloaks, man.
Orc training camp. Look forward at all times. Well, that bit you in the ass, didn't it?
Yeah. Could have had them. I know that the ring was basically trying to get Frodo to walk to Minas Morgul. Like the ring was like, go over there, and Frodo's like, okay, and then
and he does. He walks right over there through the door. They pull him back, and then that sweet light.
I love that, dude.
Spins around and shoots up.
I don't know why that's like my favorite.
Everyone in Gondor pisses their pants like simultaneously.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
because they know that Elsa from Frozen is over there.
I shared that meme, where she shoots the ice up into the sky, and then it cuts to Gandalf and.
Where was she? She could have taken out that orc army. Like,
pretty much easy peasy.
Oh no, it's Elsa.
It's Elsa. Oh god.
Not the one person that can stop Sauron. No. We come back to Gandalf and Pippin, who see the light shoot up, and they're like, "Oh crap, it's starting!" And we immediately go back to Sam and Frodo as they're climbing this very steep, very dangerous mountain, essentially right in front of Minas Morgul. Sam grabs Smeagol and he's like, "Hey, something's not right, dude.
Do something. I dare you. Do something."
He gives him the Samwise Gamgee version of "do something," pretty much.
Just another like side point. Who carved those stairs?
Yeah.
A, they suck. B, no orcs are coming. Just let me hammer away at another 10 steps today.
All right, that's enough for today.
Unless it used to be like an old trail or path.
I'm sure it was an old path that they used to like go feed Shelob, because they were actively feeding Shelob, which we'll find out later.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he pretty much tells him anything happens to him and you'll have to answer to me, essentially. Frodo's like, what was that about? We're just telling him some stuff, just clearing up some loose ends.
Well, he should stretch before he climbs, You don't want to pull something.
Limber up. It's important. It's important. We learned that Denethor will not light the beacons because, screw Rohan, and Gandalf's like, nah, dude. Pippin, I got a special job for you. Climb up there, light that fire.
Well, kind of a talking point. I want to get your guys' views on quick. So, we kind of have an idea that Denethor might have one of the Plantiers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, is he just that much of a jerk all the time, and he really doesn't care about the well-being of Gondor or anybody in it? Or B, is he kind of being controlled by Sauron?
So
and how much of it is which?
I think B, because of one important thing Gandalf said. Gandalf's like, Faramir, he loves you. He'll see that before the end. And I think that there's a little bit of mind control going on where Sauron's kind of like corrupting Denethor. I think because there's a couple scenes where they're basically like, hey, Denethor's actually a good guy. He's not acting like himself. He's kind of going insane.
Yeah, and I just wish that could have been maybe elaborated on. Maybe
I don't think
just a line.
Yeah, they didn't really elaborate on it much.
Like maybe somebody could be like, that damn orb that he's been looking at has changed him.
Yeah, there's like no extended scene where he's like just holding it and like talking to himself or something. Like, give me something.
Something.
Yeah.
Throwaway line.
Because now I hate him and I think he's a dick. And I'm like, how much was he controlled?
Yeah.
Blake says, "Whoa, you're not wearing a tie."
As you know, under our merch,
we have brand new merch, Blake.
Yeah,
so
Blake.
We're sporting the good stuff.
Yeah. Jeez.
Also, I love you. Your voice was beautiful last night.
I might wear this instead of my suit and tie.
Just a reminder to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Godhook too. Who's popped into the chat for a minute.
What up, Justin? Another Justin.
Again, if you're just now joining the stream, we've had some internet problems. Once again, that I need to get sorted out. So if we're choppy and glitchy, we apologize for that. Audio will be normal next day tomorrow.
But you should also know it's not our fault and somebody's going to get beat up for it.
Yeah, probably me. Or the mid-continent guy.
No, we'll just find the nearest mid-continent guy.
Did you fix it? Yeah, it's fixed. You're in it. It's good to go. All right, let's jump him.
We jump over to Osgiliath, who is now being invaded by boat by the orcs. Fun fact: the guy handing out weapons to everybody as they're coming in is the great grandson of great J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh,
did not know that.
I did not know that.
It's either the grandson or great grandson. I don't remember, but
probably
might be grandson.
Probably great at this point.
Maybe
so.
But yeah, the one handing out weapons to everybody. That's him. Fun fact.
Which
was weird because there was a lot of drama between the Tolkien family and
So you suck at acting. Can you pass things down?
You just gotta do my best. He trips like 5 times in the.
we did that scene 30 times.
But we do know that Osgiliath is like really undefended because they pulled 200 troops from there or something. It's like, they're obviously, I don't even know why they're fighting at that point, but
yeah, it is what it is. They lose essentially. And they do a lot of fighting.
It was not close.
Dude gets stabbed. They all retreat back to Minas Tirith.
Is this the first time we see a deformed face dude?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. With lip.
Yep. What is it? Gothmog. Yep.
I think so.
Is his name?
Which is kind of sounds like Morgoth. Which, if you guys know Lord of the Rings, Morgoth is the big bad enemy.
Right.
From the Silmarillion. Morgoth is like the worst enemy, and Sauron was just a lowly like admiral of Morgoth. But then Sauron eventually rose to the top somehow. I don't know.
Somehow.
And now Sauron's the big bad guy.
Essentially, yes. We jump back to Pippin, who is climbed up and is now trying to light the beacon. He gets the oil dropped, the flame lights it up, and we get that sweet scene of all of the beacons lighting across the mountain range.
And we feel so sorry for those workers who just sit there.
That $94 million budget coming in handy right there.
Right?
The beacons come lighting up over the mountains, down on freaking plains, and pretty much everywhere, all the way until we get to Rohan.
I didn't know Rohan was that far away. I was like, okay.
That's 3 days, I guess.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
Over a mountain range, clearly.
Yeah. Right.
Aragorn sees it. He's like, nice.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
Nope, he runs in. The beacons are lit. Gondor calls for aid, and we get a moment there where Theoden's like,
Everyone's like leaning in.
like, what's he gonna say? And he's like, and Rohan will answer.
Thoughts and prayers, and also change profile picture. And also, that meme gets me every time. Whenever I see that, Theoden sends thoughts and prayers.
Theoden has changed his
Gondor
or added a temporary profile picture.
Gondor posts a status. Help, we need aid. First comment, LOL.
LOL.
Right?
Remember the Westfold?
Remember the Westfold.
You don't?
Hashtag the Westfold remembers.
So, what do we
I
got?
was like, where do we go from here? Yeah.
Well, he's just yelling out orders like, go
Yeah,
get
everybody's
this
getting
town,
ready.
go get this
Oh
town.
yeah, you go to Dunharrow. You go to
And Mary comes up and he's like, I'll give you my sword if you'll accept it.
It is a heartwarming moment where he's like, "You're a squire of."
Yeah, calls him an esquire. And we're off to the races.
Yeah.
Still, don't know how they managed to get that many people.
Oh, so now we cut back to Osgiliath where they retreat. They didn't retreat in the first scene. They're retreating now. They're overwhelmed. It's too much. They're retreating. The Nazgul are there ripping people up into the sky, throwing them away.
3 of them on Felbeast, right?
I don't
thought
know
I
if-
saw
3 of them.
3 of them. Okay.
I don't know if they know this, but Felbeasts are not arrow-proof, and they're actually kind of pansies. So why don't they try that? One arrow will make them run away like instantly.
I was gonna say Faramir hit one in the chest and that thing went down.
Yeah. I mean,
So Gandalf rides out to meet the soldiers running, basically retreating
Yeah.
from Osgiliath. He uses his light once more, as you mentioned,
yeah.
to ward off the Felbeasts and the Nazgul. They get everybody inside, and we find out that Faramir has seen Frodo and Sam.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, hey,
Real good wordless acting there, the way he looked at him, because Pippin's like, I am super uncomfortable with the way he is looking at me right now. And Gandalf like notices.
and yeah, they're like, which way are they taking? And he was like, they're taking the road to Morgul Vale.
And then the pass of Cirith Ungol, which is no bueno.
And they're
It's
all
not good. It's not good. Next, Faramir walks in to talk to Denethor, and we get the third movie in which Sean Bean has appeared in.
right. They need to just keep putting them in.
He's been in all 3 now, granted an extended cut in the second one again.
I like the part
Still
where
counts.
Faramir's like, "Oh my gosh, he's talking about me." Oh no, he's seen vision. He's looking past me.
He basically says they retreated. He made the call. He did what he thought would be right. And, Denethor's not thrilled about this. He's like, dude, you suck.
You couldn't defend it with 50 dudes. What's wrong with you?
He stands up to yell at Faramir, falls over, starts seeing Boromir behind him. He's kind of losing his mind a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Those cherry tomatoes weren't very good.
Tells him to leave.
This is before that. Never mind. My bad.
This is after. Or no, it's before.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Tells him to leave, and then we cut back to Frodo and Sam, who are sleeping while Smeagol's like, I got a plan. He pulls out some bread, crumbles it up, drops it on all over Sam, throws the rest off of the cliff, and he wakes him up. He wakes him up, right?
I like the sneaking part where he's like, I do all this for you, and you say I'm sneaky. And he's like, so what are you doing?
What were you doing?
Sneaking.
Fine, have it your way.
But yeah, he wakes up and he's like, well, we better get moving. We got to get moving. Let's grab some bread. Bread's gone. He's like, where'd it go? He ate it, I bet. Frodo's like, he doesn't eat bread.
Yeah,
It wasn't him.
It pissed me off how quick Frodo like looked at him like death stares. Like he doesn't eat it.
yeah.
I'm
So
just
he
like,
can't throw it off a cliff. Or...
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
mystery
We'll see how it is.
Mystery solved. Apparently, he can't do something else with the
Just
bread.
because I've been looking extra thick lately.
I'd like to point out that through this whole scene, Sam has no crumbs on the front of his shirt. And then when Smeagol's like, he did it, he brushes the crumbs
What's
off of the
this?
front.
Crumbs on his shirts. This is
Like right here on the front of his shirt. And I was like,
Yeah.
thems weren't there a second ago.
I also
Sorry.
want to point out, hobbits must not like salads or anything, because those leaves are probably edible. I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
They just throw the leaves away. They're like, nah. We don't eat salads.
Frodo basically tells Sam that, it's not looking good, dude. And he's
Time
like,
for you to GTFLH.
he falls over. He falls over. He's like, this is all bad. The thing around your neck is bad. Maybe I could help you a little bit. Share the load.
Share the load.
And then Smeagol's like, I told you he'd ask you to take it. I knew it. And then he's like, shut up, you. It's really working really well for Smeagol.
Yeah.
It's all worked really well because they boot Sam out. He's like, you got to go, dog.
I swear, this is literally the whole scene. All I can think of is a toddler behind somebody that they just told on him.
Yeah.
Like, he's standing behind him like, I'm telling on him. He can't come back here and get me because you're in front of me.
Right.
Whatever.
And then the scene basically goes when Tanner was helping me move and then we're done, I'm like, I don't need you anymore, Tanner. Go home. And then he just cried, and I was like,
That's how it felt.
He just curled up and cried, and that's what I did.
I still haven't gotten over that. Tie boy.
After people are done helping me, I just kick him to the dirt like that.
We cut to the Witch King, who's like, send all the legions, kill them all, essentially. We cut over to Gandalf, who's like, courage is our best defense. Let's prepare.
Is this right where we see Denethor look over the wall? No, he does that after.
Not yet.
Nope, he does that after.
Not yet, because we get because Pippin's in his Isengard gown next, essentially, starting his serving duties and allegiance to Denethor.
Oh yeah, he's got his white
he's talking
tree armor.
he's talking to Faramir.
Oh, Faramir tells him it's his. It was his when he was a kid.
Yep, pretty much, which is kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, I'm wearing your. Oh, okay.
Then he swears his allegiance to Denethor, kisses his ring.
Yeah. Again, gets COVID or whatever
Gets
else.
COVID from him.
How many people kiss that ring a day? Whatever.
Man, I like that you gave me your armor from when you were a kid, but it smells like unwanted sun in here.
Unwanted sun. Where's that Boromir smelling armor?
Oh yeah.
Where's that?
Give me the good sun armor.
But this is where he's like, Osgiliath has to be retaken. You go get it, like, now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is my favorite part about Denethor. He's a master strategist. Every strategy he comes up with,
So
where
he's not completely wrong.
Really?
That place is way more defensible than the city itself.
Right.
Because you have to force them to come over the river to fight you.
Yeah, true.
But once you lost it, that's not easy to get back because you basically
Well, it was,
running into
Denethor who took 300 troops or something from whatever.
like
From the war, yeah.
it's just
Because Osgiliath was like super garrisoned, and then they just
stupid approach. But he's right. Like, you do need that. Like, if you want to defense that city, you need that outpost right there. And he just went about going to get back the wrong way.
Yeah, let's get 30 people on horses to rush them. That should work.
Since you are robbed of Boromir, I will do what I can in his stead. If I should return, think better of me, Father. To which Denethor just throws out the worst line to say ever to your kid,
Yeah.
who's about to die. That will depend on the matter of your return. Get out.
What a good guy.
I can see why.
And then we cut over to Frodo and Sam, which was that Lambus bread scene. I actually got those mixed up.
Oh, you're good.
That happens now. Sam goes. He says, "Tell Sam to go home." He's sad. And then we cut back to Faramir, who is storming Osgiliath.
We get a good song, Hobbit song.
We do get a good Hobbit song from Pippin, while the worst scene in cinematic history with Denethor like popping cherry tomatoes,
Breaking bones.
breaking chicken bones. It's just, he needs to apologize for that.
He does need to. I thought Kyle would have a bowl of cherry tomatoes ready for that scene for us, but he didn't.
All
did.
three of us just leaning into
He
that.
did.
I'm gonna say I had them ready on Thursday.
Oh!
Somebody wasn't here on Thursday.
Sorry, we were busy making this stuff for you. Justin came over and had to and he was still making all the.
That's fair.
I was like, "You help make them? Smell like bitch in here."
True. I didn't do anything. It was all Justin.
We know.
Oh, Justin. Fair enough. Yes, we get the song that Pippin is singing as the riders.
Which super sad, by the way.
Yeah, which the riders come up, they send all the arrows flying, and we don't even get to see it. Like we know these dudes are outnumbered.
Also, rusty arrows. If you got shot and survived, tetanus shot.
Right.
All right, guys. Keep yourself safe.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, pretty much. We cut over to Aragorn, who we haven't seen in a minute. It's been a little bit since we've seen him.
Yep. True.
Where are we at here? We're at the camp. Yeah, we're at the camp where we see the road essentially, and they're like, nobody comes back when they come through that or whatever. Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing, and then Legolas goes to the tent or whatever, and we see that
Elrond is there.
Elrond is there. Can't imagine why. Who knows?
It's like, you need to leave my daughter alone. It's like, this again? Really?
We also learn that Rohan is about 6,000 troops strong, which is not really as much as he wanted.
Not half of what he wanted is what he said.
Yeah. We walk into the tent. Theoden's like, I'll take my leave. I'll let you guys chat it out.
Although it gives him like an awkward look, like as he's walking by, he's like looks, stops for a second, and just keeps walking. And I was like, okay, what was that about?
Maybe he doesn't.
I mean, he
trust
knows
elves.
what's going on, but still, like, why give him that look? Give him a smile. Hey, you got a new sword. Cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes.
Probably because he knows he's going to abandon him now. Theoden's like, oh, you're going to abandon us. Okay.
So then, him and Elrond talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
They sure do. The horses are restless. They grow that way in the shadow of the mountain. Just because we've learned.
So we would.
There's people under the mountain.
They keep referring to them as like murderers and thieves. So are these people in life who were like bad people, and that's kind of like hell, or what?
This is a hard thing to kind of understand.
Yeah, that's because it's
who knows. They just mentioned that they never return. So
it's just interesting that they're not like.
Well, it's almost as far as I understand, they're basically like mercenaries. They're like for hire, basically. But then Isildur was like, "You fight for me when I call," and they said, "Yep." And he goes, "All right, need you," and they were like, "Nope." And then
we're
got
good.
cursed. I don't know if they got cursed and like were in the mountain when they got cursed and got stuck in the mountain.
Yeah,
or
I don't know what the deal with that was. Maybe if I read more of the lore, I should go back. I have the Silmarillion. I'm gonna read it all. We're good.
Yeah, maybe. So we get a good scene here with Éowyn, who's like talking to Merry about his dull sword, and he's like, "You better go to the smithy, get it sharpened, because that won't do no good." And he's like, "You shouldn't encourage him." And I like the line. It's like, why should he not be?
Yeah.
Why should he not be allowed to fight for the ones he loves? And I'm like, yeah, well, right. Like, if he wants to fight and die for the people he loves, why can't he? I agree.
He's like, yeah, but what about the reach of his arm? And I'm like, hey, if GSP can get knocked out by what's his name?
Johnny Hendricks?
No. The guy who actually...
Oh, Matt Serra.
Yeah, I'm like, if Matt Serra can knock out GSP... I'm just kidding.
With the shortest reach in UFC
with the shortest
54 inches.
Yeah, with arms, T-Rex arms. Then I'm sure
So now we
Merry can...
So now we got back to Aragorn in the tent with Andril, Flame of the West. Elrond has come on behalf of the one he loves. Arwen is dying. She will not long survive the evil that now spreads from Mordor. The light of the even star is failing. So we learn that they're tied together.
I do think it's weird. They're super vague about how she's just dying. She's like sick in bed dying. That's really vague.
Yeah, they never really like go deep into why.
And they zoom in on the necklace too, like implying that it's because she doesn't have her necklace, and they're very vague about the necklace too.
So she's basically like, you ride to war, but you will not win. You need more men. There are men under the mountain who will fight for the king of Gondor. Reveals the sword, reforged. It's awesome. They will listen to you tell them to fulfill their oath. And he's like, all right, man, maybe I'll give it a shot. We'll see. Maybe. If I'm heading that way.
If I'm
the blade that was broken shall now return to Minas Tirith.
Said the king.
So we leave. He's loading up his horse. He's getting ready to take the path of the dead, is what it's called, I believe. Gimli sees it, and he's like, "No, I'm going to." He's like, "Stay here, dog." And he's like, Legolas pops up behind him. He's like, "Should never underestimate the stubbornness of dwarves."
Right.
We're coming with you, laddie.
We're coming with you, laddie.
Something I think is interesting is Gimli is really the only dwarf you see throughout the entire 3 movies, except for that one fellowship at the beginning when they were around Elrond's table. But like,
right,
he is the only dwarf you ever see, whereas you see hundreds of elves and men. And I think that's weird. I don't know why.
That just speaks to the wholeness of dwarves that they hide in their mountains all the time.
Yeah, what the heck? Oh, something we forgot that we should say on the podcast that it's an extended scene is that everyone's wondering where the dwarves are. Why aren't they helping fight? And then and then Legolas is like, or I think it's Legolas who's like, yeah, they're already under attack by Mordor. Like orcs are pouring into the mines.
He doesn't say like he goes, I feel like they're fighting a battle themselves. I think.
Right.
Yeah. So which kind of
just a quick line.
We've talked about this before. Like the dwarves are kind of under constant siege from the orcs. It seems like I don't know.
Right.
Which is why they don't help out much.
Well, it's like where do goblins live? Mountains usually.
Generally.
They're fighting goblins constantly. Yeah.
Generally, so yeah, everybody sees Aragorn bail down the pass. Those three go. They're like, oh man, they're leaving because there is no hope. And Theoden's like, he's leaving. What does he say?
Because he must.
Because he must. Yep. And they're like, we cannot defeat the armies of Mordor. And he's like, no, we can't. but we will meet them in battle nonetheless.
I do like that line.
Good hype speech there. Thanks, bro.
Hey, I like the line nonetheless. Yeah. Also, wouldn't it be funny if Aragorn was like, I gotta go talk to these dead people. And he's totally just ditching out on the battle.
Bails.
He's just
it probably needed to happen this way for the things to happen the way they did. But what if he was like, look, guys, I'm gonna go get an army of like green ghosts. They're gonna slaughter everyone. And it was like, oh, sweet, like dope, can't wait to not die because that's gonna happen. And then they probably end up not fighting as good, and then they probably all die before the army gets there. So maybe it needed to happen this way.
Most of them do die before, I don't know.
Yeah, probably. And then we get the scene with Theoden and Eowyn, where he's like, hey, basically, I've left instruction. If I die, you're gonna be the one that has to hold this stuff down. I've chosen you.
Basically saying, don't come into battle with me, but she does.
Yeah, pretty much. He wants her to smile again, and she's like, yeah, smile if I'm slicing orcs down. Yeah. What up, dog?
What up, dog?
Smile with my sword stuck in someone's forehead.
Fair enough.
So, what is it? Dwimmerberg, right? Is that what it's called?
Which?
The Haunted Mountain?
Oh.
They call it like the Road of
Dwimmerberg is what it's called here, anyway.
Fair enough.
The road they call it is like the Road of the Dim Mock or something like that is what they call it. The road, anyway.
Yeah.
I forgot about the mountain.
Anyway, we're down there. We're looking around. Feels bad. We get a weird panning shot of
Legolas. It makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Just 360 camera angles. Peter Jackson was like, not my best work. Let's get it out of there.
Yeah. There's a lot of extended scenes here they cut out. Yeah. The wisping hands, like...
Yeah, pretty much.
Although I do like Gimli trying to blow them all.
The skulls were also extended, too.
Yeah. Which was... I get why they took that out. Completely unnecessary. Why were they trying to kill him with a ton of skulls? And then they're like, well, okay, that was just a test.
I guess, whatever.
We'll get to
the way is shut. It was made by those who are dead, and the dead will keep it. The way is shut. Anyway, we go into the door, pretty much.
Don't like wind blowing out of that cave.
And it's also unheard of. An elf that'll go underground, where a dwarf dare not. Oh, I'd never hear the end of it as he runs in as well.
But he's the most scared the whole time.
Yeah, so this is where Theoden pretty much tells Merry, like, hey, we cut over to back to the Rohirrians.
Rohirrians
or whatever.
Rohirrim.
Is that the proper? Yeah, I'll go with it.
It's Rohirrim, I thought. Oh, no.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Theoden tells Merry that, hey, no, don't fight. You can't. Yeah. I don't believe it. No way.
One of my men can't bear you as a burden to ride on his horse.
To which he's disappointed, but then we see him scooped up one arm by Eowyn, who's
apparently a bodybuilder. So no, I'm kidding.
Apparently, I've been through the fact.
Yeah, said they're light. I feel like they're chonky.
I feel like even if they're 100 pounds, you can't just curl 100 pounds.
Well, I mean, they're hobbits, so they're short. So I mean, 3'6", I think is what Mary said he was in that episode.
Yeah.
Of their, At 3'6", even being a little dense. I mean, what Tyson's only 48, 50 pounds.
I could curl 40. I could curl 40 pounds.
He summons them to fulfill their oath, but nobody but the king can do that. He whips the sword out, and he's like, that Blair, he goes to attack him, and he blocks it. He's like, that blade was broken. It has been remade.
Right. He had to give him, like, the Sherlock Holmes breakdown. Like, it's obviously been remade, dummy.
Seriously. Basically, he's like, fight for me, and I will hold your oaths kept, and you can rest. And then they all just kind of laugh and disappear,
Like
which
also
was also
unnecessary.
kind of weird. I'm like, all right, a little unnecessary.
Like, we're gonna give them the skulls, guys. They just back up.
Everybody, quick, disappear the skulls.
The skulls. We've been saying this up for years.
Basically, they're shouting at them, you know, come out, you traitors. They're gone. The skulls start busting through. They're like, we have to go now.
What if they all die, right? And then all the people come back as their ghosts from. All right, guys, pick the skulls up, put them back for the next people to come.
Yeah, no, that's how they kill. That's how they kill all the people that want
All
to.
right, all right, back to work. You gotta put the skulls back again, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So they bail, and then we cut back to the Siege of Gondor.
Which is a heavy siege.
I do like though that this extended part really quick before you go to that the Corsair ships. He's looking at them. He's like, "Oh, we got to fight all these guys on our own." And you know the disappointed look on the three of them. We have to fight these because they were just these pirate guys are like mercenaries. And then the King of the Dead's like, "Nah, we'll go." And then that's
we will
how
fight.
So that's how you know picking up sooner or later when they jump off the boat. How you know how they got there.
Right.
See, I get why it got cut because it's a little extra, but man, I really love in the original one where he's got his sword, he's like puts it, he's like, "What say you?" and that's it.
I did like.
You
I
don't
like that
see him
more.
again until he's jumping the ships, basically.
I do
Right.
like that.
Yeah, I
But
love the way they did that.
I still like this little scene, but I do. Yeah. You also notice a small thing is like you see all these buildings and villages being burnt along the way, meaning these guys are raiding actively. They're actively raiding
And the
villages
thing
as
too
they
is,
go.
because they don't say yes in the original. In this extended one, he goes, "We will fight." Cool. Now I have nothing to worry about. Like this army is about to go slay everything, and you don't see that in the original. So you get that feeling of this hopeless battle for a long time, and then you finally see the army, and then you know the answer is yes, and then they're there to save the day without knowing.
I'm glad that you feel that way, but I never had despair at all during this movie. Like, not at one point did I ever feel like they were going to lose this main battle.
Well,
Like, that's one of the reasons that this movie is not above Two Towers for me, is because, like,
stop being optimistic. Be more.
we can
realistic.
talk about that at the end, but
They only talk numbers like once. I felt like if they would talk numbers a little more, it would because we only have 6,000.
or maybe if
but then you see
literally
the army.
anybody could have died that was important.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I don't feel at any point.
Denethor, my favorite characters. You better stop that. You better stop.
Just reword it. Somebody got killed that was important, not somebody who jumped off a cliff.
Somebody who was murdered.
Okay.
All right. Faramir's attached to a horse as the gate opens. We bring him in on a stretcher. Denethor's like, my son, my wine is ended.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
It's sucking too much.
What was that?
What he did is he did that disformed orc voice with Denethor's words.
Pippin says he's alive, but Denethor won't hear it. He walks off, looks over the edge, and just sees this huge siege army.
I laughed so hard the first time I saw this because Denethor's in his mind. He's like, "How can things get worse?" And then he looks over the edge. He's like, "Oh, that's how."
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's how. And he's like,
And not to mention, I just pooped myself.
and then he says, of course, Theoden has betrayed me. You, man.
Dude, he changed his profile picture. He did not betray you.
Like, you didn't even want to call him for help. Again, like, both of these people are just awful. I just hate them to death.
Yeah. Theoden has marked himself safe from the battle.
Theoden has marked himself safe.
Oh, that's bad.
Abandon your posts. Flee for your lives, he says as he's panicking. And then Gandalf just gives the
gets
business.
thrashing.
And you can see guards in the background just watching it, like, whack. Whack. Guards are just
Well, that's the thing, too, is it makes me mad because, like, he doesn't, I mean, obviously he says it loud, but then you look and, like, how far from the top of that tower to the next level down?
Yeah, there's no...
Right.
Like, nobody's hearing, flee for your lives. What? What?
What did he say?
Look up to see him getting his ass beat. They're like, oh, okay.
All you see is his head bobbing and hear, like, a murmur. It's like, all right, well, I'm going back to my post.
Yeah, right.
Gandalf pretty much takes control here as he says, don't fear, fight, remain at your posts, bring them down, essentially.
These guards are really open to suggestion. Whatever anybody's yelling.
Really open to suggestion.
No,
I mean,
whatever anybody's yelling in the near vicinity, they just listen to.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So they're flinging dead heads of blocks, knocking over towers. We're firing catapults back. I'm knocking over a couple of their things. Gandalf's saying go for the trolls because they're pushing over the big towers full of orcs. Kill the trolls if you can. Pippin comes out. He calls to fight. He's like, go away. This is no place for a hobbit. Which is weird because Gandalf's track record, I figured he'd be like, go in there and fix it all by yourself. Like, go and fight the whole army.
What's up, Band-Aid? Go fix this whole problem.
We went down as they're trying to break through the gates with the post. Gothmog is like, smash it down. The other orc's like, nothing can breach it. He's like, Brand will breach it.
Oh, yes.
As he orders them to bring out the wolf's head.
We left out very serious here. He gets his first kill.
That's true.
He sure does. Yeah, he stabs an orc as he comes up behind Gandalf.
Possibly saving the entire battle, considering...
Yeah, what if Gandalf dies?
What if Gandalf dies?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The savior of Gondor.
You've been making fun of him this whole time. See? Now
He's such a fucker.
And he saved Gondor.
Well, that'll probably be second half.
Right, we'll get to that. But if you want to talk about Aragorn, we'll just have to roll into sexiest Aragorn.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got to be the sword drawing moment for me when he pulls out Anduril from the sheet.
Yeah.
That's a good...
Just looks up, holds it in front of his face. I got the gif up on chat right now.
See, yeah, right.
It's just the way he holds swords in front of his face.
Well, it is, and as he's doing it, he's like, "Put away the ranger, become who you're supposed to be." It's like, oh, chills.
That's kind of the moment.
Chills.
But I will say, I think for me is when he's like, "You will suffer me," and he's like owning the, or like him.
That's my vote. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In the cave.
I like.
It's good.
Well, I'm trying to think of any others though.
There's not a lot of Aragorn in this movie.
Not really.
Honestly. It's the second half where he's, prominent.
Also, like the lack of Frodo stuff. I feel like he has like 10 to 15 lines this whole first part.
Good, give him less.
Like he's
give him less.
yeah, I just feel like he's like a zombie. Like he just kind of is like stumbling around, and then he says a few things, and then just back to stumbling around. It's more Sam Gollum interaction than there is Frodo with basically anything in this movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He is kind of like a zombie to the ring at this point, which is actually pretty accurate.
All right, Elijah Wood, you can take this movie off. we got you, bro.
We got some scenes of you stumbling around like a drunkard.
Pretty much. And then you have to get carried for a little while.
All right. Legolas.
Oh.
Sexiest Legolas. It's either the hooded one or it's got to be
No, it's him shooting Wormtongue. Come on.
That or Game Over was really cool, too, where
What?
Gimli falls over and he's like, game over.
Oh, that's pretty good, too.
That's for me, it's the Black Hood looking up at the stars. That's hot.
Shoot,
I think it's game over, man.
This is tough for me. Shooting an arrow that far and hitting him like Wormtongue in the heart. Yeah, you know what? I'll go with brooding off into the distance.
Brooding into the sky. It is.
You tell me that if you saw Legolas in a black hood looking up at the stars in the middle of the night, talking to you about the stars, you wouldn't just immediately take your pants off.
He'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. What are you doing? What do you know?"
Fair enough.
This isn't where we were headed. Put my pants back on then. Whatever. Stop talking to the stars. I'll keep them on.
Fair enough. So, I just want to make a mention of this one more time because next week is the last episode of The Lord of the Rings, essentially, and I do have a map coming.
Ooh.
Yep, I have it being made now. I figure I want a little interaction with anybody that wants to enter to win the map. So this week I will say, let's follow the page. Let's share the video or share the page, and then comment on any of these episodes and tell me what your favorite Lord of the Rings movie is.
I'm about to do it so I can get the map.
Do those three things, and I will put your name down for the drawing of the canvas print of the map of Middle Earth. I don't have it yet because it's being delivered, but essentially it will look. It'll just be the map of Middle Earth in a canvas print, and I mean it looks really dope. So remember, go follow the page, share the page, and then tell me what your favorite Lord of the Rings movie is, and I will enter you to win the canvas print map of Middle Earth. It's a free prize. So, for very, very little effort, Get yourself a nice
Must
cool
pay shipping and
prize.
handling.
Which means driving over here to grab it.
Correct.
Essentially. So that'll be cool. I'll do that. I'll give the final details and show the print next week on next week's episode, and then at the beginning of the next series, I'll announce the winner of the last series' prize.
Sound like Smeagol series.
Series.
The last episode of the series.
So that has been Velocity Movies in Review. Once again, I apologize for the choppy video. I've really only experienced this problem since we started streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So next week we will go back to exclusively streaming on Twitch because we had no problems at that point. So
As long as the audio works, really. I don't know.
it's nice to be on Facebook and stuff because a lot of people don't know how to use Twitch. But it is what it is. If we have choppy, gross videos every week, then it's not. Nobody wants to watch it anyway. So I apologize for that. Next week, hopefully, we can get that figured out and get it back to smooth sailing. Remember, if you like these episodes, go to facebook.com, type Velocity Entertainment in the search bar, follow us, share it with your friends who like Lord of the Rings or Pirates of the Caribbean, which is next, and they can come and listen to us rant and rave about them. As always, I'm your host, Kyle Leonard, with Michael Otamende and Tanner Else.
You stay classy, Middle Earth.
I was going to say stay classy, Alderaan.
Nope.
Dang it.
Not today.
Last time you steal my stuff.